We are back. Sam Seder on the Majority Report. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to welcome this young man back on the program. He is an actor, a writer of not just of television, but of, you've written television, haven't you?
Sure.
Television, probably film, although I'm not specifically aware of that. Books, raconteur, a comedian, probably a director, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what, Michael Ian Black, what have you not done?
There's in the world of entertainment, Sam, in the world of spreading ideas and information, the only thing I haven't done is host a daily radio program that illuminates and informs, such as yours.
Oh, that is very sweet. That is very sweet of you. Well, I'm sure, let's just, God willing, you don't get that inclination, or I have a feeling we'll be out of business tomorrow. So now I know what are you constantly writing? Because I've tried to get you on the show for several months. You're constantly busy,
Right.
shooting some show or something. And now, and I know you had written sort of a memoir-y type of book, and now you're writing a kid's book that I'm telling you, I'm so excited to tell us about the kids' book, because I'm excited to get it for both my kids, and one's 3 and one's 10.
Well, I've written a series of children's books, but the latest one, the one that is coming out in July, is entitled A Child's First Book of Trump, and it is it's sort of a children's book, but it's really for adults who maybe are confused about Donald Trump, what to do if you should encounter a Donald Trump, how to identify a Donald Trump, and so that's what the book is about.
Oh, dude, you got to give me a signed copy for my daughter. She hates Trump. She gets just enraged when she sees him. She's only 10. I don't think she knows why, but she just finds him disgusting.
Because she loves her daddy. That's why.
That's probably it. But she actually does have
Here's the sample.
Okay.
Do you want to hear a sample from the book?
Is this the first time this has ever been read aloud?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Holy cow. Hold on for 1 second. Got to play the breaking news song music.
Yep.
All right, this is it. A Majority Report exclusive scoop world premiere. Michael Ian Black.
This is just a tiny excerpt from A Child's First Book of Trump, and in the preceding pages, the narrator says you might be a little confused about what you've been seeing on the news, and then the following you'll read. The beastie is called an American Trump. Its skin is bright orange. Its figure is plump. Its fur so complex you might get enveloped. Its hands, though, are sadly underdeveloped. And that is your excerpt from A Child's First Book of Trump.
That's fantastic. He's going to be very upset about that. Apparently the hand
I hope so.
The hand thing drives him crazy.
Seems to. Seems to.
So when did you start sitting down to write this? What inspired you, except for the fact that we have a raging lunatic who could very well be the Republican nominee?
I was inspired, Sam. It all starts with me needing to poop, and went to a Barnes and Noble, and at Barnes and Noble in New York City, they often locate their men's rooms in the children's book sections. So I went to the children's book section, pooped. On my way out, saw the picture book about Hillary Clinton. It's sort of inspirational tale of here's Hillary Rodham, a young lass who grew up and now is running for the presidency of the United States. And I sort of chuckled to myself thinking about what it would be like to write an inspirational book about Donald Trump, because there's nothing inspirational about him. He's a child of wealth and privilege who now has more wealth and privilege and is running for the presidency. And so I started writing a child's book of Trump.
Now, you did a book with gosh, I can't remember her name now.
John
John
you've done
McCain.
Great research for this interview.
Well, John McCain's daughter.
Yeah, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to wait for you to figure it out.
Ms. McCain.
Okay,
Ms. Meghan McCain.
Yes. Yes, I did write a book with Meghan McCain.
Now you're still friends with her, right?
Yeah, very good friends with her.
Are they freaking out? Give us a sense of what that sort of quadrant of the Republican Party is.
I dare not speak for the McCain clan.
I understand.
I will say, your your descriptor of how you interpret them is probably not far off from the truth.
My descriptor, as in McCain? What do you mean?
You said they were freaking out and upset.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your description of what you envision their mentality being is probably not far off from the truth.
All right. Well, I don't want you to speak for them, but I want you to cough twice if they talk about regretting Sarah Palin.
That I will not. I will not even venture down that road because my dear friend Meghan McCain will never speak to me again if I do.
All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, I guess we've made our choices in that regard. But sorry. So, what were you doing the past 4 months that you couldn't come on? What? And I should tell you. In fact, I guess I haven't spoken to you since this. But the Wet Hot American Summer on Netflix, I understand, has gotten picked up again. But the sequel was fantastic. My daughter likes it better than any of the comedy that she's ever seen me having had done. So I was
unaware that you've ever done comedy.
I was going to say, she basically had the same response. But I say
Thank
that...
you. I'm glad you enjoy it.
It was very funny. And
yeah, I think so too. I mean, I have nothing to do with it other than showing up and putting on short shorts. So I feel comfortable agreeing with you that it's very funny without feeling like I'm taking any of the credit because I really take no credit for it. I think it's very funny.
Well, I thought it was awesome that you guys could fit into those short shorts, and
yep.
And you kept your figure, which I thought was also impressive. Some people let themselves go a little bit in the show.
Right. Right.
We don't need to name any names.
I'm not going to.
No, okay, because we don't want any other families to get upset at you.
Right.
This is all just about. This is just like a series of landmines for you.
But would it kill Bradley Cooper to lay off the donuts? You know what I mean? Would it kill him to lay off the donuts?
It was funny. It was. I think people realize how many sort of soon-to-be stars were in that film until you watch it sort of. The series. I mean, I remember running into Bradley in 2008 at the Democratic convention, and I specifically remember going I hadn't seen him in about probably 6 or 7 years, and I didn't realize he was on. I think he was doing that Jennifer Garner show. So I can't remember what it was.
Alias.
Called. Alias. So I didn't really realize, and the last I had seen him, he had been doing I think around the time of that movie, he had been doing a travel show, which I remember thinking I would love that gig. That's awesome to go around, but I didn't want to say what have you been up to or anything like that because I wasn't sure if that was a sensitive issue. And just to tell you how completely out of it I was. The guy's about to become the biggest movie star in the country. And I'm I don't want to bring up work with him. Could be sensitive.
Just in case things weren't going well.
Yeah, I'm doing a Sunday talk show, Sunday radio show up in upstate New York. I don't want to make him feel like he's missing the boat.
Don't sell yourself short. You're also on MSNBC twice a year.
That's right. Exactly. Who copped an attitude? You can tell me this. When everybody shows up there at, to do this, because you remember the first time, right? It was like literally you guys went to camp. I remember hearing the stories of it. Felt a little left out. What are you going to do? It sounded like a complete party. Everybody was the first time around. The second time around, who had the attitude?
Well, here's the thing. Nobody's going to agree to do a Netflix show for no money if you have an attitude. You know what I mean? You have to want to be there, or else there's no point in showing up. So nobody had an attitude.
When did you get so diplomatic?
I would tell you.
I would, the Fletcher School? What's going on with you?
I would tell you somebody who's being a dick.
Nobody. Are you telling me nobody?
Probably me more than anybody, because I was the one who had the big chip on his shoulder about not having succeeded the way every other person in that cast has gone on to superstardom.
But you must have felt good around the kids, at least, right? I mean,
no, those kids are all huge stars now.
Hi, I'm Sam Seder, and this is an Ann Coulter doll.
You should not be immigrating here. Yeah. Stay in your country and hate us.
For smart progressive talk and a little bit of this and even a little bit of that.
Mission accomplished.
Subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook to get some of our best video clips.